In the previous episode, we saw how Target learned to embrace design when their trend manager, Robyn Waters, made them see and feel what design could do for them. This illustrated the value of helping people visualize the change and feel something, whether it is being disturbed by a problem or hopeful at seeing a glimpse of a solution. One of the most effective times an Agile team has to visualize how their work is going and talk about how they feel is the retrospective. There are many ways to conduct a retrospective. Many retrospectives are conducted by asking three questions. What do we want to stop doing? What do we want to keep doing? And what do we want to start doing? There's nothing wrong with these three questions. They can be very effective at bringing about discussion that can inspire the team members to look back over the previous iteration and think about how to adjust the way the team works together to better achieve the team's goals. But let's consider some other ways of conducting a retrospective. The book Agile Retrospectives by Esther Derby and Diana Larson provides both a structure in which to design your retrospective and many activities to fill in each space in that structure.
It illustrates that the idea that this is an ongoing and linked process that just flows naturally at the end of each iteration moves right into the retrospective. And the framework that we are proposing and that we have found works very, very well for us, and we're getting a lot of feedback that says it works well for other folks, is during that retrospective, we go through 5 sort of chunks of work that the group needs to do in order to have a successful retrospective.
Derby-Larson retrospectives consist of 5 phases. 1. Set the stage. 2. Gather data. 3. Generate insights. 4. Decide what to do. And 5. Close the retrospective. In the set the stage phase, you get people thinking about why they are there, and you get people used to speaking their opinion to the group. The gathering data phase is about creating a shared picture of what happened over the past iteration and allows the following steps to build on top of that shared perspective. In the Generate Insights phase, you take the data from the previous phase and use it to think about what needs to change. This is a critical phase because it is so often skipped, as our natural tendency is to jump to a solution. In the Decide What to Do phase, we can now make a decision together on all the proposed ideas in the Gather Insights phase. The final phase, Close the Retrospective, is all about closing the retrospective decisively. The facilitator expresses appreciation for everyone's work and asks for a quick retrospective on the retrospective itself. I personally like to set the stage by asking a question that the team can answer in a word or two, so that each and every person on the team gets a chance to speak. In the Gather Data phase, I like to get people writing about how they felt the previous iteration went. I get them to categorize their thoughts into one of 4 emotions in a variation of the Derby-Larson timeline exercise and post them on a flip chart. I walk the team through the post-its to draw out ideas and common problems or lessons learned from the past iteration. Each member of the team takes what they've written and puts it on a flip chart, or in this case, pins it to a corkboard. You might instead use software for this if you have remote teams. A lack of green stickies might indicate a problematic iteration, since nobody is recalling events that made them feel successful. A lack of other sticky types might indicate a team that is reluctant to share problems and maybe a lack of safety in the environment. Next, see if there are any common themes and group the stickies that way. In our example here, the green stickies have a common theme that pair programming has been productive for the team. The yellow stickies also have a common theme. The team is confused about story priorities. 2 red stickies and a blue sticky are about blockages due to dependencies between stories. Finally, 2 blue stickies and a red sticky are about an outage that occurred due to missing tests. From there, we decide on some actions we'd like to take during the next iteration. So in this example, this 3-person team could potentially produce action items as they generate insights. So they might come up with things they'd like to start doing, keep doing, and stop doing. They consistently had problems with not knowing the priority of stories. So maybe they want the PO to prioritize the backlog more consistently. In episode 4, I talk about ways a team can help their PO at this challenging task. Based on the green stickies, it looks like they would like to keep doing pair programming and perhaps do it more often. In episode 6, I talked about ways to encourage pair programming. There are also 2 things that they would like to stop doing. One is to stop creating stories that get blocked because of dependencies on stories that are in progress. In episode 2, I talked about 4 reasons a team might have problems writing stories that are, among other things, independent. They'd also like to stop causing outages when they push code to production, and this seems to be due to inadequate testing. Perhaps some investment in a continuous delivery system would help here, or to introduce the practice of test-driven development. I talked about continuous delivery in episode 17 and test-driven development in episode 9. So here they are with 4 potential changes to make for the next iteration. They may decide to take on all of them, or perhaps pick the highest priority one. Using retrospectives to visualize the impact of the way we work and express how we feel about it has led to some significant changes in how we work together. It also became a way to get input from everybody on the team, even the quietest engineers. So if you find your retrospectives getting boring, take a look at the Derby Larson book and see if some of their ideas can help your team to see, feel, and change.